there was Harry doing really good stuff in the Invictus Games, but playing on these poor victims of war to somehow promote himself in Dusseldorf, which was absolutely, I thought, pretty nauseating. And for her, Meghan, to pretend that she was late because she had to give her children milkshakes was just ludicrous. I mean, this is a woman who talked tonight about the importance of family. The importance of family for Meghan Markle, who did her best to destroy the royal family, who ignores her own father, who talks about we've got to look after victims and leaves her father in Mexico with a stroke.
In a scathing takedown that could go down as one of the most brutal public dress downs in royal commentary history, investigative journalist Tom Bower has completely obliterated the image Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have been so desperately trying to build. And let's be honest, some of us saw this coming a mile away. Bower ripped into Meghan for her ongoing hypocrisy, talking endlessly about family values while completely abandoning her own father, Thomas Markle, after he suffered a debilitating stroke. Let that sink in. A man who helped raise her, now bedridden and alone in Mexico, and she hasn't so much as visited? No call, no care, just staged smiles and well-rehearsed speeches about compassion. Tom Bower called it ludicrous, and honestly, he's being polite. It's disgusting. How can someone scream "Family Matters" on stage and then completely erase their own blood? What kind of daughter does that? But Meghan's betrayal doesn't stop with her father. According to Bower, she did her best to destroy the royal family and, oh, she almost succeeded. From accusations without evidence on Oprah to the endless moaning about being silenced while on million-dollar media deals, Meghan has built an entire empire out of victimhood, one sob story at a time.
We're very lucky that Meghan isn't here anymore, in my view, because she really poisoned the atmosphere. Yeah. So there we are. We're caught between the rock and a hard place in this. But there we are. It's not a good view from Dusseldorf.
But what I like...
And don't even get us started on the Invictus Games stunt. Let's get one thing straight. Meghan and Harry left the royal family. But guess what they didn't leave behind? The titles, the brand, the perks. The royalty card they keep pulling anytime they want to sell a podcast, score a Netflix deal, or get a front row seat at Beyoncé concerts. Bower nailed it. They're not royals anymore, they're Hollywood hustlers. Everything is manufactured, from Harry's random solo visit to St. George's Chapel, timed perfectly to overshadow his brother's event, to the laughably staged PDA moments at a Beyoncé concert.
And what is really annoying is that we shouldn't have to in any way admire what they're doing in Dusseldorf, because they have wrecked with all their lies. The lies on Oprah Winfrey, the lies in Spare, the lies that Harry said in his interviews about his father and his brother. And he comes to England, makes no attempt to visit his father or brother, makes no attempt to apologize for his past behavior. Meghan carries on her lies and all the rest of it. And it really is shocking.
These aren't spontaneous acts, they're scripted. A production. PR manipulation at its absolute worst. Let's talk about Harry. Oh, Harry. The man who once had the world's admiration is now a walking billboard of regret.
To be honest, I regret marrying Meghan. I'm tired of living my life in front of the cameras. I thought it was a fairy tale romance. She told me she wanted a normal, peaceful life, and I believed her. She took me away from my country, convinced me to cut ties with my family, but the freedom she talked about turned into endless interviews, documentaries, and public family drama.
Didn't mince words. Harry is riding on emotion, milking war veterans and royal ties to push an image that's completely disconnected from reality. And Meghan? She's directing the whole show. Harry's fall is nothing short of tragic. A prince who had the power to do real good has reduced himself to a puppet in Meghan's personal redemption tour. Love? Please. This is manipulation. Meghan has crafted her fairy tale, but Harry? He's just the lost prince she dragged out of the castle. How long until he realizes what's happened? Will he ever? Here's the raw truth. People aren't enjoying Meghan and Harry's downfall because they're jealous or hateful number. They're watching the natural law of karma take its course. You can't spit on your family, manipulate your past, disrespect everyone around you, and expect a smooth ride. Meghan burned bridges, from Buckingham Palace to her own childhood home. You disrespect your roots and then cry when your branches snap? Let's be honest, what's happening now isn't just public backlash, it's consequences. And what's tragic is, their children little Archie and Lilibetare, the ones who'll feel it most. A life of confusion, raised on resentment. They don't even realize the legacy of pain their parents are building for them. Is Bauer too harsh? Or is he simply saying what the world is thinking but afraid to say out loud? Meghan wants to be Diana 2.0, but Diana was honest, genuine, graceful in pain. Meghan? She's crafting controversy, not living truth. And he's confused loyalty for love and traded his crown for a script. Shame on both of them. Not because they left the royal family, but because they keep exploiting it, dragging it through the mud for attention and money.
What I like about Kate is she's taking these risks, but she's doing it in a very sensible manner, always connected to important issues, and she shares just enough of herself. So we obviously saw her at the weekend on the rugby podcast having a bit of a laugh with her husband, but it's not sharing deep, dark secrets. It's teasing him for pretending that he's good at rugby. And today she had her hand wrapped up, and we learned that it's because she's had a little injury on her trampoline. So she shares just enough without being uncouth, I guess, in the way that Harry and Meghan are.